10XL 92.5 FM.
So much. I just want to see it. I want to feel it. You loving your neighbor. You having a smile on your face. The rain is coming. Let's keep it at night, early morning. You deserve a great weekend out in the sun. That includes those who will be at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow for Jaguars rookie minicamp, whether it's the golf course, the beach, or I guess anything else. I hate it for you if, the rain comes. We need it. We do. I mean, anyone who owns a home is going to say you need it. I think if you're, in an apartment or something like that, you're like, screw that. We don't need it. But homeowners, yeah, we do. And apparently it's coming. I don't know. I never look. I just have people who, I don't know, for one reason or another, just walk up to me and start telling me about the weather. But you just heard Frank say that there was lightning out around UNF, so maybe that'll hit the Bartram Springs bubble, and maybe we'll get some moisture coming up there. We shall see. I will tell you this, okay, and it's the truth. There's no place I'd rather be than Hogan Road for the next 2 hours. However, being shoulder to shoulder with Jessica freaking Blaylock in Sunrise, Florida right now would be pretty cool because we're less than 1 hour away from the defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. They are up against it on the brink, down 2-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto is the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions of the National Hockey League. Toronto has not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. And they are one of the original six there with Montreal. And the last time Canada won a Stanley Cup was with the Montreal Canadiens. That's going back to 1993. It was also a very interesting year if you add the 4 American teams who were part of the original 6. For the first time ever, not one of those 4 teams made it to the playoffs. Boston, New York, Detroit, Chicago, an 0-4. What a game. And I just love this Panthers team. I don't have second favorites. I don't. I'm from Boston. That's it. I went to Florida State. That's it. I talk about the Jaguars. And, yes, I know my audience. Enough hockey, Ballou. Move on. Get to the Jags. It's coming. It's coming. And it's going to be just about our entire program. And absolutely. I mean, it's a great time of year for you Jaguar fans. But this is sensational. The Panthers are so well coached by Paul Maurice, and they got 3 scoring lines, especially after going out and adding Brad Marchand, who's playing on that third line. But they've made mistakes in this series. And tonight they're an enormous favorite, somewhere minus 230, minus 240. So, they're expected to get things rolling. And I just find it really ironic that here it is, midway through the semifinals, and the defending Cup champion, Florida Panthers, down 0-2. The defending NBA champion, Boston Celtics, down 0-2. The difference there, Florida plays at home. They do so tonight. Boston is going to take that short trip. They've already made it to New York City. Game 3 will be tomorrow at the Madison Square Garden. The Knicks have come from behind and been absolutely sensational. 2 20-point comebacks in Game 1 and in Game 2 on the road. A lot of people out there think Boston can still win this series. They got to win 4 out of 5. We'll see. Same with the Panthers. Can they win 4 out of 5 as well? So all of that coming up tonight and this weekend. Possibly we'll touch upon that a little bit later on in the show if we do have time. All right. I'm jealous. I'm jealous because there are people right now in our listening audience who were at the Miller Electric Center today, right? Season ticket holders. And it's a wonderful move by the Jaguars. Absolutely. Bring you in. Have an opportunity to take a look at these young guys. And I'm getting reports. They're coming in On the text line, it's 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I've heard about the route tree already today with Travis Hunter. I've heard about, how practice went. I'm going to be respectful here to the gig, and I'm not going to pour out a lot of information. If they didn't want us there today, I don't think it's fair for me to come on out and spill everything as far as what we did see. We do get that opportunity tomorrow. And again, hopefully the weather does its part because this thing is completely sold out. I keep getting people that are like, hey, man, can I do it? Can I get out there? Is there room for me? And I'm like, I don't know. My guess is that it's sold out, but I would go to Jaguars.com. That is where I would tell you to go to get all your information. But, I mean, I can't think of anything like this. It's a rookie minicamp. And this is like such a big deal in this city because people want to go out there and take a look at Travis Hunter and see what he can give you on the practice field with the understanding that it's going to be very limited, right? They're going to be in shorts and they're going to be in T-shirts. Absolutely no hitting whatsoever. Maybe a tiny bit of I wanted to say scheme. Just I would imagine basic plans, basic routes, things like that. And, beginning next week, actually the 19th, when I do return from vacation, I'm just absolutely thrilled about this. I mean, the vacay worked out perfectly. While I'm gone, there's no media access. As soon as I get back into town, which will be on May 19th on that Monday. That'll actually be the first Jaguars OTA. So that is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We'll get the entire 90-man roster. I wanted to say 89-man roster, but they do have an exemption in, internationally. Once again, this organization always takes advantage of that. So where are we on this Friday? Tell you what, we've got an awful lot to choose from. If you went today, you can slide it in on this question at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. If you did not go today, the same question certainly does apply to you. And it's, what are you looking for tomorrow? What player, excites you or your anticipation is for outside of Travis Hunter? I mean, if I was to do it that way, 99% of you would all say Travis Hunter. And I get it. I mean, he's a rock star. And, I think I think he's got the ability to make players around him better. I think his overall package is one that really settles into that new Jaguars category of being a guy who loves the game of football. I was talking about this earlier today at 9:04 when I joined Gus on social media platforms talking about what to look for tomorrow. Travis Hunter is one of these guys where I expect him to make some big plays tomorrow, score a touchdown and run to the end zone with a smile on his face and maybe pump up the fan base. He's kind of got that, pedigree about him. So, yes, that is absolutely a given. But who else tomorrow? And for me, it's all about speed. That's what I want to see. And the first guy I highlight is Bashel Tootin, Virginia Tech, a guy who has 4.28 speed. Think about that. Now, I watched him play a little bit in the ACC with the Hokies. Very good back. Yeah, his only concern is that he does have a fumbling issue, one that, you'd like to see get cleaned up for the Jaguars. Tank Bigsby still has the reputation as a guy who loses the football based, primarily on his rookie year. Travis Etienne had a huge fumble last year. And again, it just feels like there's more and more and more of Etienne kind of getting pushed out here. Final year of his deal, 26 years of age, making $6.14 million. There were rumors that he was available during the NFL draft. I happen to believe that he still has a chance to really be a big part of Liam Cohen's offense. If you look at Liam Cohen and what he does as far as the screen game, go back to a couple of years ago when Travis Etienne caught more than 70 footballs, plus his knowledge of working with Trevor Lawrence dating back to their days at Clemson. Now, what could, because Tank Bigsby's not a receiver threat. I think right now you would agree with me, unless Tootin comes in and just steals the show, right? It's going to be Tank Bigsby who gets the majority of the carries. That would be my guess. He's going to be the guy that you ask to run between the tackles. I don't think he's a third down back. Right now, for me, that's Travis Etienne catching the football. But getting an opportunity to see what Tootin can do tomorrow. Caught a ton of footballs at Virginia Tech. And let's not dismiss LaQuint Allen Jr., one of only 2 players this past season in college football, played it at Syracuse, who rushed for more than 1,000 yards and also caught with receiving yards more than 500, okay? One of only 2 backs to do that. So they like him. And this could be something, early on tomorrow that we do see, and it's like, wow, he's a 7th-round pick. He was number 236 overall. But look at this guy. You say that you're able to find running backs. Look at Bucky Irvin a year ago. Liam Cohen was very instrumental in bringing him in the 4th round. And look at what he did in Tampa. We all read Michael Silver's article and, his behind-the-scene access, being in the war room and listening to Cohen throughout the draft process, just really discussing, the ability of these running backs and to be able to plug them in and do it immediately. So to me, that is fascinating. I'd love to sit here and talk about Wyatt Milam. I don't know what you're going to get out of him. I don't know what you're going to get out of anyone who is a lineman at this point. To me, it's about the skill position, guys. When there's no contact, when there's no pads, I'm not saying that linemen, that it's useless. That would be stupid. But I still believe you get an opportunity to get a much better read and a much better understanding as to what is going on with skill guys. And I'm going to put into the equation there, both defensive backs, both safeties, and Caleb Branshaw, and as well Ray Lane, the third out of Navy, a guy that they believe is going to be a special teamer from day one. He was a gunner at Navy. The Jaguars right now are down a gunner. Tim Jones is gone. All right, Daniel Thomas, you would expect to be a gunner. If all of a sudden you get all of this special teams play from younger guys, I look at a guy like Daniel Thomas and think, all right, making more than $2 million a year. Is he guaranteed to make this roster? Daniel Thomas is a liability in the secondary. If they're in dime coverage or whatever it is, and you look out there and you see that Thomas is in as a safety, that's not good. Okay? So, they're going to get better with Ransaw, but it's going to take some time. And who knows? Ray Lane could be a part of that as well. But he could be an opening day gunner. Could be. He also could not be. I'm just thinking about what he's been able to do during his career with the Naval Academy. All right, we got a lot to do here over the next couple of hours. Look who's on the other side. My goodness, a Friday with J.J. Lelf.
Hello.
What's going on?
I'm great, man. I'm ready for the weekend. And, I'm helping out. I don't know where Dylan is tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm sure just going around town Friday night, acting like he's working. I get it. I'll fill in the phone.
How you been, all right?
I'm great.
Yeah. You excited about anything before the pads go on? I mean, the ability to see, the speed of some of these new draft picks. Does anything really get you going tomorrow?
I'm not a big practice dude. But yeah, it'll be cool to see Travis Hunter out there and just to see him in a Jags uniform. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not a huge go out there and check out the guys practice against air guy. That's not for me. Yeah.
I look forward to it, and I know a lot of Jaguar fans do look forward to it, and it's going to be part of our conversation here over the next couple of hours. All right, we've got a show change here But we have the ability to change on the fly to go along with that. I was hoping to bring Marcus Stroud onto the program coming up here in about 7 minutes. But here's the problem. First of all, it's not a problem for Marcus Stroud, okay? He's on the golf course, and he said things got backed up. Imagine that. Things got backed up today at a golf course. So we'll do it another day with Marcus Stroud. I was hoping to get him on for a couple of minutes to get his thoughts on the newest members of the Jaguars. And also, just really talking about this organization. One thing I want to do today on my final show for a week is get more into James Gladstone. And Florio wrote his piece. It was an agenda-filled piece. He had anonymous sources, calling Gladstone an AI general manager, calling him there are other executives already in the NFL that are bothered by him. I don't believe any of that. I just don't. But I think there's a fair question that needs to be answered right now. And it's a question that will definitely come up once the season begins if they don't get off to a fast start. And that is, has James Gladstone done too much? Has he made too many changes? The obvious answer for me is no. He's been forced to do this because of how bad the product was under former general manager Trent Baalke. Still, 9 draft picks, 20 undrafted free agents, did not bring back not one of the unrestricted free agents in this year's class, all right? Brought back one restricted free agent in Cole Van Lannon. And as I've said all week, if I was to sit here on the 9th day of May, 2025, and tell you that Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Gabe Davis would no longer be on this roster, who would have really believed it? All right. And then you throw on top of that Mitch Morse, and I'll even throw Brandon Sheriff in there, although I think the tea leaves were pretty obvious that this was going to be it for Sheriff. So I think it's a fair question. Now, we don't have the answer, but this is why, we dive into stuff like this. How much is too much? And, I don't think we'll accurately know until we get into, let's say a third of the way into the season, and you'll get an understanding of what's happening. Like, unfortunately, I hate to do this to you, but you knew it was happening last year from week 1. I mean, that lifeless football team last year dropped a 0-4 on you in the month of September. They looked right at you as diehard Jaguar fans and said, guess what? You're going to have nothing to cheer about this year. September brings 0 wins and 4 losses. The offense brings you nothing when the game starts. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That's it. They're asleep. All of this, and that's why Gladstone has been forced to make these changes, is to try to fix the overall structure of this football team. I think it's interesting, though, and I'm looking forward to grabbing some of your thoughts on it. Again, the best way to do it is our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right. If you're out at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, you're going to find that it's the best facility in all of sports, period. However, if they tend to do team drills on the other side of the field, I hope you have great eyesight. If you don't, I want to feel for you here. But I've been telling you for quite some time to schedule an appointment with Shmunez Vision. All right? They are the best around. And if your eyes are not 100%, it's time for you to not allow this to happen the next time around. So schedule an appointment today. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, regardless of what the situation may be, a tremendous amount of allergies is going on right now with pollen. Maybe driving you crazy. Red eyes, scratchy, they itch. Make an appointment. Get it solved. Maybe you want 20/20 eyes for the rest of your life. Laser eye surgery. Absolutely. Get it solved. Maybe it's a bigger issue where there's a problem. I hope not. Could be a cataract situation. Refractive surgery, possibly. You're talking well more than 30 years worth of experience at Shmunez Vision. And you also get to talk with the same people who perform the surgery. That is not the case in a lot of these practices. It is at Shmunez Vision. So check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision, or you can go to Instagram and get everything there as far as the testimonials. All right, fired up for tonight's show. Really am. Getaway Friday for yours truly, on vacation next week. So really want to break some bread with you over the next couple of hours. Let's welcome in those as well who got us on YouTube at 1010XL into the night. And you can always get me on Twitter at Ballou, Ballou 1010XL.
The team that loves the team you love.
They came together as a team.
1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
The NBA playoffs are here, and there's no better place to catch the action than Hurricane Grill and Wings. With slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts, plus fresh, never frozen wings in over 30 flavors, and big screens everywhere. This is your home for all the games. Handcrafted cocktails, bold flavors, big plays. Don't just watch the games, experience them at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Hicken here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
The PGA Championship is known for testing a golfer's all-around game.
It's a very difficult putt to read.
Hear updates and coverage of the PGA Championship, teed up by TopDressing.com and St. John's Middle School Athletic Association. Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
What a Guggen this will be. If you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club, text Guggen to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win.
He just got a hole-in-one.
Score a hole-in-one and win an Atlantic Infinity SUV. ET makes a putt, you win lunch at Twin Peaks, a Chick-fil-A breakfast, and a Dandy Foods lunch. Thanks to our sponsors, Injury Care Centers, Kingfish Pest Control, and Valor Roofing.
Hi, folks. It's Frank Franz. You look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's Glass. Those beautiful custom glass shower enclosures, maybe a new mirror, a glass tabletop. They can even replace your foggy or cracked glass without having to replace the whole window. Lee & Cates is local. They're family-owned. They've been a part of our community since 1926. Boy, they've taken care of me, including our brand new offices at Walk-Off Charities. They did a great job. I promise they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandCatesGlass.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Frangie here. I was talking to a buddy the other day. His HOA told him his old fence had to go. I said, man, call Coil Fencing. They've been around the block since 1927. Heck, they probably built half the fences in Jacksonville. They do it all. Tough chain link for security. Those fancy aluminum ones the HOA actually likes. Nearly a century of keeping yards safe and looking good. You need a fence? Call Coil. You can trust the folks at Coil. 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com, COYLE, jacks.com.
Tucker Equipment Rental in Neptune Beach. You just don't rent quality machines, you rent quality customer service. Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Dave. Tucker Equipment Rental has been supplying Jacksonville with equipment and event rental for over 50 years.
From commercial and homeowner projects, we've got what you need: lifts, dirt equipment, and landscape equipment.
And don't forget about event rentals, from festivals to weddings to backyard barbecues.
Local, knowledgeable, and always ready to help.
Tucker Equipment Rentals. You need it, we've got it, come see us.
For the greenest, lushest lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Happy birthday, Paul David Hewson. Bono to you and I, 64 years young today. Keep rocking, brother. 29 times I've seen you, including last March, or a year ago March, at the Sphere. When will number 30 happen? I know they've announced some more dates for Vegas, and I still feel like going back out there. Could we get a Jacksonville show? Could we get a Tampa show? Could we get an Orlando show, a Miami show? Chicago, Boston, New York. I'll go anywhere. And I have. 64. So we'll play some U2 over the next couple of hours. All right, getting a lot of stuff in. 641-1010. Best way to join us. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And certainly you can get us on YouTube. A lot of folks already getting after us here as we get things rolling. What do you think about that, JJ? I mean, this roster is going to turn over, maybe 40, 45% from a year ago. The thoughts on whether or not James Gladstone has actually done too much?
No, I think the trade was too much for the draft, but I mean, just overturning the roster, no. I mean, it was trash. You got to take out the trash. I don't have any problem with any of the cuts. I thought I was kind of shocked that they cut Gabe this week just because of how much dead cap money. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's obviously him just being like, hey, I'm going to make it my team. I want everybody out, which I like that.
And here's a really good question that came in on that. This is from the 0206 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Says, Blue, the only question I want answered is how long is it going to take to possess continuity with a new scheme, a scheme that's got to be a gazillion times better. Too much change changes exactly what the doctor ordered. Well, it is going to take time. Now, you have a quarterback going into his fifth year, and that still is, even with all of the Travis Hunter stuff, let's be honest, still, the primary responsibility of this coaching staff, and everything is centered around Trevor Lawrence. He has to develop. And I credit this team because I have yelled about it forever. They brought in 6 new offensive linemen. Now, how many of them are going to be a difference maker? We'll see. We have eyes. We'll be able to witness that, right? But I give them credit. 6 brand new offensive linemen, 2 new tight ends, 2 new running backs, and 2 new wide receivers. They've done it. They have addressed it. I'm sure they looked at it and were probably incredibly disappointed in every phase of the game that this football team played, offensively and defensively. But Liam Cohen, look at what Baker Mayfield did last year. Baker Mayfield was the number 1 rated red zone quarterback in the NFL. He completed more than, I think it was 72%. It might have been 73%. You know what Trevor Lawrence did in the red zone last year? 44.4%. He was terrible. The Jaguars' offense was terrible. Look at Tampa Bay 2 years ago. They had the worst rushing attack in pro football. Liam Cohen comes in, drafts a 4th rounder, right? And all of a sudden, Tampa Bay becomes a top 5 rushing team in the NFL. His screen game is off the chart. You're going to see, I believe, so much movement with these skill position guys. You're not going to look out all the time and see Thomas on one side and Hunter on the other and Washington in the slot, or, you know, what they do with Brown. I don't know how they maneuver things, but my understanding is that you're going to see an incredible difference in the route tree, and you're going to see these guys being moved around. Don't be surprised to see Brian Thomas Jr. in the slot. Do not be surprised to see Travis Hunter in the spot. The thinking is get your playmakers the football any way that you can. I think there's going to be a lot of intermediate routes. I know right now most of you are like deep ball, difference maker. And we saw it a few times last year with Brian Thomas Jr. Obviously, we saw it with Travis Hunter. But I think the other part of that is yak, and that is yards after catch. It's not always going to be the long ball, which, for the record, Trevor Lawrence, percentage-wise, is a very good deep ball passer. Trevor Lawrence needs to improve on his shorter stuff. He needs to not be J.R. Richard, right? He needs not to be Don Drysdale or Goose Gossage when he's throwing a screen pass to Travis Etienne, who's 8 yards away. He needs a little bit of finesse. You know, he needs a little bit of touch here. And that's what Baker had. Baker's improved tremendously. He did under the former regime 2 years ago. That should be mentioned as well, but certainly that did continue with Liam Cohen. And to me, this is going to be so fascinating because if you can run the football, that changes it all. That could be half of the turnaround for Trevor Lawrence if you can run the football. My guess is, and I don't know, but I'm just going to say, that Baker Mayfield wouldn't have been as successful last year if he didn't have a rushing game. However, he did put up some pretty good numbers back in 2023 where Tampa did not have a rushing game. So maybe that's incorrect. I still think it got better based on what we saw. And obviously that comes with the understanding that, you know, they were without Evans for 3 games and they were without Chris Godwin for a bunch of games as well. But if you can run the football, then all of a sudden you have weapons all over the place for Trevor Lawrence. And when you look at Thomas Jr. and you look at Hunter and you look at Brown, and now you add to this list Bashal Tutin, this football team has 4 guys that no matter where you give them the ball, they have the ability to hit a home run. Last year, all you had was Thomas Jr. You didn't have that element. You weren't getting that from Evan Ingram. You weren't getting that from Christian Kirk. You weren't getting that from Gabe Davis, right? You're not going to get that from Parker Washington. You're not going to get that from Brenton Strange. You're not going to get that from Travis Etienne. You're not going to get that from Tank Bigsby. They have 4 guys now, no matter where they are, find a way to get them the football. And they can score from anywhere on the field. I mean, if that doesn't fire you up as a Jaguar fan, heck, I don't know what does. That would absolutely thrill me. Now, it is going to take some time. And, I believe in the right set of circumstances. And I want to actually get into the schedule here in just a little bit. I want to make some predictions since I'm going to miss next Wednesday's show when the schedule is released. But if I was to be honest, I still think Houston's a better team. I do. I think they have more talent. Okay. I believe it's a very dysfunctional division. There are problems top to bottom, and that includes obviously Tennessee and Indianapolis. I want to come on board here and say that the Jaguars are going to have a better coaching staff. The Jaguars are going to have a better front office, and the Jaguars are going to have a better quarterback. Last year at this point, I wouldn't have been able to have said that because Stroud played so well. He did regress. But I think there's a real chance that this team can win 9 games and maybe win the AFC South. But to answer your question, how long with the new scheme, it is going to take time. And the most important part of the development of Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen is to know that there is going to be stability. We're not going to hear that, after the first year it didn't work out and Liam Cohen's bringing in a play caller. No. Grant Udinski, 29 years of age, brilliant mind. You know what? You hope he does so well. Even though he doesn't call plays, he gets an opportunity to be a head coach somewhere. That's what happens when you begin to win. You lose your coordinators, but you don't want to lose your play caller. I thought it would happen with Doug Peterson, and I'm still surprised it did not. I happen to be one of those who believes Doug Peterson's a good coach, and if Doug Peterson called plays, they would have won another 4 or 5 games. He didn't. For one reason or another, he remained loyal to Press Taylor, and that was a massive downfall for this organization. So that's what you look for, is growth in the understanding of this offense. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be great to have 10, 12 years, 14 years of a Sean Payton, Drew Brees type of relationship? I know that only produced 1 Super Bowl, but I think at this point, you'd sign up for that, right? I mean, this is year 31. If I was to say to you, take it or leave it, Trevor Lawrence is going to be your quarterback for another 12 years, but you're only going to win 1 Super Bowl, I think you'd take it, right? I mean, only 20 of the 32 teams have won a Super Bowl. Think about that. 20 of 32. 4 teams have never been, including the Jags and the Texans and the Browns and the Lions. But they salary cap it. They try to even it up year in, year out. Still, only 20 of the 32 teams have won a Super Bowl that's been around now for, 57 years or whatever it may be. So, that's my guess that you take it. Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you have visions of them winning 2, 3, or, I don't know, even more. Interesting stuff. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Alexander Law Practice. Just outstanding. First of all, let me tell you that if you've been injured in a car crash, that's awful. And certainly you're hurt physically, you're hurt emotionally, your car may be destroyed, it may affect you, getting back and forth to work, and you've tried calling a couple of these practices and they haven't called you back, first of all, that's awful. They'll always call you back at the Alexander Law practice. All right, Rick Alexander's been AV rated since 2004 by Martindale and Hubble. That's the gold standard for any lawyer. All right, it's a peer review rating system, and they recognize all lawyers for their strong legal ability and high ethical standards, and it's less than 10% of the lawyers who actually do receive this rating. Rick is a former prosecutor. He's been representing those injured in automobile accidents since going all the way back to 1998. So if you have been hurt, you need to call Alexander Law Practice. They're going to give you the individualized treatment that you deserve, and you're never out of pocket. All right, you may need help along the way here. Call Alexander Law Practice. Maybe your car's in the shop and you can't get cash. Call. It's a free review. Talk to the people at Alexander Law Practice. They're going to take you through each and every step. And then at the end, you'll be able to reap the rewards. But I want to point that out. You can also call them at 400-6600. Again, it's a free consultation. Or go to alexanderlawpractice.com. All right, let me get back. Let's grab some of your thoughts on this about the Jaguars. I also want to have a little bit of fun with the schedule. I guess there was a schedule leak today from Schedule Leaks. So the Jaguars will be playing in Week 7 in Wembley against the Rams. So the date is good. Week 7 is good. I think it's a decent time to get that thing out of the way. I still despise London. I despise everything about London. I just can't stand it. But it's a part of their revenue stream, and it's what they want to do. The Jaguars are going global, but that came out today. Let's go through the schedule a little bit and kind of predict, what we think is going to happen and how much influence will the drafting of Travis Hunter fix a football team that was still only 4-13. It's pretty interesting, depending on which side you do look at it. So we got a ton to do. It's great to have you with us, along with JJ LaSalva. My name is Rick Ballou.
There's a magic in live radio that crackles with life and energy.
Let's go home!
Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Denny Thompson here. You gotta check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I could stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 US Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 9, 1987, Baltimore Orioles MLB first baseman Eddie Murray is the first player to switch hit home runs in 2 consecutive games.
Hey there, Jacksonville. With scorching temperatures just around the corner, it's crucial to ensure your AC is blowing nice and cool. Duck Air Conditioning is here to keep you comfortable all summer long. But don't wait until the heat gets here. Our service techs are ready right now to handle any cooling issues you may have at your home or business. Call Duck AC today at 904-862-6769 to schedule. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Air Conditioning. Online at duckac.com.
Get ready. Welcome to Rockville is gearing up to take over the Daytona International Speedway from May 15th to 18th with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival is finally here. May 15th to the 18th in Daytona Beach. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. Select passes on sale now at welcometorockville.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Celebrating Bono's 64th birthday. It's what we do on Into the Night. Forward to seeing some of these young wide receivers tomorrow, some undrafted wide receivers. All of a sudden, I think there are 3 primary spots that this team needs to add. A wide receiver, a defensive tackle, and another edge. No pun intended on Bono's birthday. But Emmanuel Ogbah added... will this organization look at a guy like Jadeveon Clowney? He's played in 7 different teams in the last 8 years. Can you get anything out of Clowney? What's his market going to be at this particular time? The former regime refused to bring in any veteran defensive ends year after year after year. And it was so frustrating to you as Jaguar fans. And I don't know why he didn't. I asked him about it. And, he told me he'd love to see my list. But I look at it that way. I think it spoke volumes that with 11 free agents and 9 draft picks, they did not address defensive tackle. Okay? They believe that it's going to be a bounce-back year for Eric Armstead, who's going to play fully inside. That, Devon Hamilton, who always has a good training camp, but then is kind of flat in the regular season. A much improved year, too, for Mason Smith. I mean, what a wild card he is. But again, I think there's room for an additional player. What's really interesting to me is that fifth wide receiver position, right? When you get through Thomas Jr. and Hunter and Brown and Washington, and you look at the roster, yeah, they've had some guys on the practice squad. Yeah, they've had some guys around here. A Joshua Cephas, he's received plenty of airtime. Austin Trammell had a phenomenal camp, and then he dropped the fumble. Oh, I mean, I would not totally dismiss Austin Trammell, and obviously they elected not to, even after really an unforgivable mistake in his Jaguars debut. And then you look at some of these undrafted free agents who have come in. To me, kind of the missing component in the release of Gabe Davis that I think applies now to what this organization is going to do is that Gabe Davis would have been wide receiver number 5, who only would have come in if there was an injury. And he gave you nothing else. He didn't play special teams. So what do you think this organization is going to do? Is there a chance that they go after an Amari Cooper or a Keenan Allen or a veteran wide receiver who's played in this league for many years? I don't see him going after an Amari Cooper. I just don't. I think they like their top 4 wide receivers. Or are they better served to find a young, inexpensive guy who they can rely upon with special teams, like they did with Tim Jones for the last several years? Jones was always what? The 6th wide receiver. And Jones, got all this credit for being a 4-core special teamer. I think he was really good. I don't remember Tim Jones making a lot of plays. I think this is almost addition by subtraction by finding someone. So, these young wide receivers tomorrow, Chandler Brayboy, Cam Camper, J.J. Jones, Eli Pancall, 4 wide receivers that are going to get plenty of reps out at camp. I think there's an opportunity that one of these guys could make this team. And if you see him on the field offensively, then that's a problem, right? I want you to understand where I'm going with this. It's almost like Daniel Thomas on defense. They are there for special teams and special teams only. But we'll see. They'll get their first opportunity. They actually got it today, and they're going to get another opportunity coming up tomorrow to address that as well. All right, in our second hour, lots that I want to do. I got to get into the Belichick story. I mean, I just have to. It's so newsworthy, and it's so unexpected. I mean, if you would have told me that this was happening with a 73-year-old and a 24-year-old, and you said, it's a former athlete or a current coach or a political figure, let's keep it to sports, all right? I would have gone through 1,000 names until I got to Bill Belichick. I mean, this is like shocking to me. Being from Boston, always really keeping abreast on what's gone on with the New England Patriots, and I've read so many books on Belichick. I used to love his press conferences, just how much of a grouch he was, and all about, being a firm disciplinarian and being the leader to being openly controlled here by a 24-year-old girl. And the reports that came out today that he was being banned from the USC football facility. Then UNC had to turn that report around and say that is absolutely not the case. I mean, what has this really done to his reputation? So want to get into that a little bit. Also, college football fans, did you see that report on a new playoff structure, which gets us to 16 teams? I love it. If you're not aware of what's going on, I'm going to share that with you. And I want to get to the schedule leaks a little bit, as I said. Talk about the Jaguars. We'll come out on Wednesday, but let's get deeper into it. Cold weather games, night games. To me, one of the biggest things is always consecutive road games. You'd like to be able to avoid that, and especially road games around the holidays. That's not good. So we have all that to dive into. That'll be our second hour. Best way for you to join us is the text line. That's 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get us as well on YouTube. That is 1010XL Into the Night. And on Twitter at Ballou, Ballou, 1010XL.
The Green Bay Packers.
This is Hall of Famer Jerry Kramer. Has a nice ring, doesn't it?
They won their fourth under Vince Lombardi.
And you are listening to 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnik. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnikBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Spring and summer are coming. Will your pool deck be ready? Don't Slip Deck Coatings of Jacksonville has you covered. Their multi-layered slip-resistant coatings come in a variety of colors, adding safety, durability, and style to your outdoor spaces. Plus, they offer slip-resistant solutions for inside your home, too. Long-lasting, affordable, and built to protect your family. Don't wait. Call today for a free quote. 904-466-1839. And follow Don't Slip Jacks on Facebook and Instagram.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots. And for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Go to WM.com/Duval.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold. Whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island or Bud Light Seltzer, dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's going to have you with us. We roll tonight till 8 o'clock. Hacker on vacation. He'll be back Monday, then I'll be off. But I'll see you tomorrow over at the Miller Electric Center for Jaguars rookie minicamp. And then when I return, the best part of it, that'll be day one of Jaguars OTAs. That'll be May 19th. So we'll have a ton to do there. Also celebrating Bono's 64th birthday. All right, let's get into the Belichick story a little bit. Everyone's got an opinion on it. And I listened to this podcast today. I took 52 minutes out of my time. And I was pretty disappointed with it. The Pablo Torre podcast was very pretentious. Felt like they were talking down to me. I'm sure he's very successful, but I just don't think that is the right way to go about broadcasting, acting like you know everything and no one else is even remotely close to knowing what is actually going on. He said that his girlfriend, his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, has been banned from the UNC football facility to the point where North Carolina Athletics had to respond to this. Quote, while Jordan Hudson is not an employee at the University of Carolina Athletics, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. Jordan will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside his responsibilities for Carolina's football and the university, end of quote. So, they forced that today. So the podcast was newsworthy, although they're disagreeing with it. But, I mean, the shock value of this is really off the chart. I never imagined that this could be the case. And we're also, and I'm going to be flat out honest about it. There's a lot of things that are said publicly, and then there's a lot of things that are said privately. Everywhere I read, how can a 73-year-old be with a 24-year-old? Privately, a lot of those same people are like, you go, Bill. Are you kidding me? We don't know. We didn't believe you. You had that in you. But again, that's life in general. You're going to say publicly the right stuff, So, the optics look like, I'm a man. But privately, it's kind of like, wow. And apparently she's a handful. She is a massive handful. And, how this is going to work out is going to be really intriguing. He is on a book tour. And, she interrupted the interview on CBS Morning News. Apparently, she was the reason behind no Hard Knocks. UNC, which I think would have been intriguing, at least somewhat. I've lost it for Hard Knocks. I think I did about 4 years ago. At one time in my life, it was a pleasure, and I loved it. But like everything else, they've gotten away from football. And instead, they're going to, take you somewhere, and you're going to see the receivers and their wives, playing cornhole or they're having dinner. I don't care about that mush. I want them to be on the practice field. I want them to go inside the classroom and that, to me, that's what was great about Hard Knocks. So anyway, she's eliminated this. But what is intriguing to me, and this is the part of the story that is really scary, if you're Bill Belichick. He's only 14 wins behind Shula. Shula's got 347 lifetime. I know they go by the regular season, they go by the playoffs. I've always looked at NFL coaching wins a combination. Shula's got 328 regular season wins. Belichick has 302 regular season wins. If you add the postseason, Shula goes from 328 to 347. Belichick goes from 302 to 333. I have been one of those believers all along that this is one and done at UNC for Bill Belichick, regardless if they have an 8-4 year, regardless if they have a 4-8 year, okay, or anything in between, or outside for that matter. I felt it was a one-year deal with the Tar Heels and that the ego of Bill Belichick is going to be, I want to get back to pro football. I want to set that record. Well, you wanted nothing to do with Bill Belichick. The majority of our listening audience was like, this guy can't win without Tom Brady. He's 73 years of age. Don't want him around. End of story. Move on. It's Liam Cohen. Belichick is not a factor here in 2026 in Jacksonville. But you and I do know that there'll be the obligatory 6 or 7 jobs. It happens every year in pro football that are going to be available. Are you going to want to bring in a 74-year-old coach who will have a 25-year-old girlfriend who is this problematic, is this much of a headache? So I honestly do believe that that is going to turn off a lot of potential employers. I happen to believe Bill Belichick is still an outstanding coach. I have listened to you, and you are accurate for the most part on the Tom Brady equation. All right, but he also won in Cleveland. He beat New England when he was in Cleveland. He won 11 games with Matt Castle. He did make some mistakes late in his career, particularly with the draft, and he made some coaching mistakes, like bringing in Matt Patricia, a defensive whiz, and all of a sudden having him be involved with the offense. My opinion is there's still a team out there that would make a run at Belichick. And I don't think that is going to be the case if he is still involved in this relationship. We just went through a Shedeur Sanders situation where you have a helicopter dad and a guy that is so boisterous, so over the top. And I love Deion. I'm a huge Deion fan, just like I am a huge Belichick fan. These are two of my favorites. I mean, bottom line, my favorite Florida State player of all time is Deion Sanders. And I like a lot of them, okay? If you told me right now that Florida State would be that Deion Sanders is the head coach of Florida State in 2026, I would sign up right now in a heartbeat. If they had to go 0-12 in order for that to happen, sign me up today. With all of the circus that would surround Deion, I would still sign up for that as a Florida State grad because I don't think Mike Norvell can coach. And I know Mike Norvell can't recruit. But I think teams are going to turn away now from Bill Belichick. 74 and this problem, it's going to be interesting. Nonetheless, I think this is it. I think this is a one-and-done year at UNC. Take us ahead here to the end of the year. What do you envision for Belichick at UNC this year and in the future? I was talking to JJ, but he was on the line. We'll get him here.
Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. You're on the line. What do you envision this year with Bill Belichick and come January for Bill Belichick?
I actually disagree with you, and it's just going to be a one-year thing. I thought when he went to UNC that he was saying like, "Hey, it's a wrap." The NFL didn't want me. When he made that decision and when that took that job, I was just like, "It's over. His NFL career is over at this point." And I think he still has some pride. I think that he's not going to just go 8-4 and bounce on UNC. I think that he'll actually, this is his last job, and I think it'll be for a few years.
All right, we'll see. Getting a lot of stuff in here telling me she's a gold digger and all that type of stuff. I mean,
that's as plain as day. But I mean, I do think a lot of the media backlash is because people don't like Bill Belichick.
Oh.
And the media's never liked Bill Belichick. Like the clutching of pearls by the media because like a 70-something-year-old guy's with a hot 24-year-old is really insane to me. Like, what is there not to get, folks? Like, what are we so confused about?
Right.
And oh my God, he's taking Instagram photos with her and all. Like, who cares? Honestly, we don't know how many wives and girlfriends of coaches are around the facility, by the way. Like, that might be a common thing. But it's not reported on because it's not Bill Belichick.
Well, it's harder to get away with now
yes.
because of camera phones.
But I also don't think people would care if, like, Lane Kiffin's wife is around the facility all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay.
Who cares?
Yeah. It's
not a story. It's a story because it's Bill Belichick's young girlfriend.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But it's provided a huge headache. That I'm sure UNC privately wishes was not happening. And I also think it could be a situation where it could prevent a future NFL team for going after Bill Belichick because of this. I guess my point would be if they broke up, he'd have a much better job of getting an NFL job. I think that's fair, even though no one would ever come out publicly and say that.
I think that if he wins like 11 games this year and goes to the ACC championship, I don't think they would care.
No.
I think maybe then they would find him more hireable. Honestly, I just don't. I think if he shows he's still into this coaching thing and he goes out there and busts his ass and they win a bunch of games and they do well, I think that's going to change the opinion of a lot of these NFL owners.
A lot of these texts I can't read. They're not for terrestrial radio, but it's exactly my point. It's what's said publicly and what's said privately is two totally different things when it comes to Belichick. So we'll see. I didn't enjoy that podcast. So I was disappointed. Some people were bragging about it and saying it was a great piece of journalism.
Oh, please.
And,
Pablo Torre's a typical, like...
I didn't even know who he was until I read this today. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know who he is. He's just a typical woke, around the horn graduate.
Okay, that's why I've never...
Dan Le Batard graduate type guy. He's ass.
Never watched Around the Horn since I left Chicago. That's probably why I wasn't really aware of what he said. Hey, real quick before the break. This came out, I found it today. Ross Dellinger, have you seen this report?
I have.
The primary talks were yesterday with the 4 power conferences in college football, and it's picked up a little bit of traction today, but there is growing support that we're headed towards a 16-team college football playoff, which, again, is going to drive a lot of people crazy, and I don't get it. Okay, yeah, we just had chalk in the NCAA college basketball tournament for the first time in a long time, but go back to Ohio State against Notre Dame. What was that, an 8 seed against a 9 seed? Or a 7 seed against an 8 seed? So it's hard-headed to just say we should only have 4 teams and that no one can come from, down below and win a college football play. We just saw it with Ohio State and Notre Dame. So if we get to a 16-team college football playoff, it's better. It's better for the consumer. It's better for the fan. The bowl system is broken. No one cares anymore. I hate it. It's another part of college football that has been ruined. I mean, I can't even who played in the Gator Bowl? Do you even remember who played in the Gator Bowl here?
No, but how would this help the bowl system?
No, it wouldn't help the bowl system.
Okay.
The bowl system's dead.
Yeah.
Absolutely dead.
There's no coming back.
No. Absolutely not.
Unless they put these games at the bowl sites, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, well, they did with
and
what?
They call it like they get if it's like the first round game between Notre Dame and whoever, and they call it the Gator Bowl.
Bam.
then maybe you could save some of these.
You're on to something because they did that with the later round games.
Right.
With the the premier matchups. But it just, unless you're alumni, in the Midwest or up east and you have a chance to come down here to Florida and grab some warm weather, or it's your school and it's in a nearby city, I mean, for the most part, they are irrelevant. Again, I hate to admit this, but I don't even remember. Did Mississippi play here in the Gator? I don't even remember who played. And this is what I do for a living. That's how irrelevant the bowl system has become. And
it was Ole Miss. 52-20 against. Oh, remember Duke had no quarterback.
Okay.
I remember that. Yeah, that's the other problem with the bowl games. Half the players don't even play. My Miami Hurricanes have a lead at halftime, and they just bench the quarterback.
Yeah, the Duke quarterback moved out.
Yeah, like no one cares. Not even the players care.
But what they're discussing is 4 automatic bids from the SEC, which our listening audience, I imagine, has to adore. 4 from the Big Ten. And let us remember that the last 2 national champions are from the Big Ten, Ohio State and Michigan. 2 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12, 1 from the G6, and then 3 at large. So that is what they are discussing. And, I happen to be one of those that is not a big fan of change. This is a change that I would fully support for the reasons that I just gave you. And I like JJ's idea. In the first round, tie him into some bowl games, right? I mean, first round last year was what? It was on campus.
Yeah.
Right. And, that's an interesting part of it as well because, you have an opportunity to make more money. However, those who get a bye don't make that money. It's anything but perfect, right? It's always going to be flawed. There's no doubt. But I just love the fact that at least they're discussing it. So,
would you rather have like all at-larges as opposed to, hey, every single year, no matter what, we're going to get 4 teams? Like, I'm just thinking, is the 4th Big Ten team every year worthy of a national title chance? Like, hell freaking no.
Yeah, I would rather take the 16 best teams, but we know they're never going to do that. They're going to have to bow to those 2 power conferences. And, you can even make the case that there shouldn't have been 2 ACC teams last year.
Dude,
or
how
two
is
Big
there
12
2
teams.
ACCs in this new one?
Yeah.
This new proposal says that there would be 2 ACC teams every year in the tournament. And it's like, dude, I'm a Hurricane fan. I watch ACC football every Saturday. There's a lot of seasons when 2 teams are not deserving of getting in. I mean, that's crazy to me. And having the 1 Power 6 team. That's trash, man, or whatever they call it now. So we're going to have Boise in there every single freaking year. Like, even if they have 2 losses. I hate it, man. I really hate it.
Let me look back here before our break at the standings. SMU went 8-0 in the conference. Boy, 11-3. Clemson 10-4. Miami 10-3. So yeah,
SMU didn't have to play Clemson. They didn't have to play Miami. I don't even think they played Louisville. Or yeah, they played Louisville. But like that's the other problem with college football is there's so many teams in these conferences now. They don't even play each other.
How did you guys do in the bowl?
We lost.
All right. So
remember, we were up at halftime and took our quarterback.
So you were
out.
10-2.
No, Miami was 10-3.
Yeah, but that's with the bowl loss.
Yes.
So
yes.
If you
Miami would have been in with a 16.
You would have had a 10-2 record. So Miami and SMU absolutely under a 16-team college football playoff would have earned it a year ago.
Maybe because Clemson won the Clemson was also put in there.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them would have to have been an at-large bid.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Clemson did get in a year ago. Let's take a quick peek at the Big 12. It was a rough year there. Arizona State and Iowa State both went 11-3. BYU 11-2. All right. Anyway, that's possibly where we're headed. I love it. I'm all about more the better, but I do agree that whole conversation about first round on campus compared to first round in a bowl is going to be something that has to be discussed. All right, we got much more to do. If you want to join the conversation, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
My plan is to adopt a new style, a combination that requires the highest level of conditioning, speed, creativity, most of all,
1010XL.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Need a fast casual option that's healthy, fresh, and delicious? Choose the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Gyros, salads, hummus, and more made completely fresh right as you order. Off 210 in St. John's Parkway. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jacks for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 9th, 1987, Baltimore Orioles MLB first baseman Eddie Murray is the first player to switch hit home runs in 2 consecutive games.
No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
Fantastic news here. Due to overwhelming response, Beers Diamonds extending their amazing earring and bracelet sale for Mother's Day. Hicken here. So now through Mother's Day, you can still save up to 40% off diamond earrings and diamond tennis bracelets. It's Beers' most ambitious offer ever, and response has been incredible. The corporate-owned big box stores can't touch these prices. Beers, locally owned, man. Say hi to the Lupos when you go over there. The freedom to give you pricing you deserve. Highest quality diamond jewelry. Celebrate the mothers in your life with something they'll appreciate for decades to come. They also have special pricing on other Mother Day favorites, including colored gemstones, pearls, pendants, and fashion jewelry. Beards Diamonds, your destination for making this Mother's Day truly special. Don't miss Beards Diamonds' biggest sale ever. Up to 40% off Beards' already beatable value price. Now through Mother's Day at the Town Center. Only locally owned jeweler. It's Beards Diamonds.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or Matt-Jacksonville.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years. And our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Is it getting better?
I have bad news for the freaking Jessica Blaylocks,
Do you feel the same?
who, by the way, saw you two with me years ago, and my GF, and my good buddy and his wife. Toronto 2, Florida 0. Only 7 minutes into the first period, Toronto is on a mission. We're celebrating Bono's 64th birthday. And final thoughts on the college football playoff structure. It's reminds me of the Bowl Championship Series. They're going to make changes year after year after year. And everyone's talked about the seeding. And that's legit. You also have reports coming out that the SEC could add a 9th conference game. Obviously, that would not apply this year, but it could add somewhere between $50 to $80 million a year to that broadcasting right, which ESPN right now is paying $811 million a year to these schools. So you would expect that to happen. And, finally, I just want to mention this and then get away from it. I love what Nick Saban's doing. I love what Tommy Tuberville's doing. We need this to be governed. We need a czar. We need a commissioner. All right. We need to look at college football and find a way to put a cap on the NIL. We need to find a way to have better structure as far as the transfer portal. There's a lot that we can do to improve the game, but I don't believe that President Trump should be involved the way that he is. I think that there's clearly other things that are going on where he would be better served. I just think that college football should be able to figure this out on their own. And Nick Saban, to me, would be the greatest idea. I don't think he'd want it. Why would he want it? I'm sure he's making millions a year doing College Game Day with absolutely zero stress.
Maybe he just sees the sport that made him that rich, and it's like he loves it so much that he hates what's happening to it.
He would be the best.
I agree. I couldn't even think of a 1B, a close to second place. I would love if Nick Saban was that. I get your point about Trump, especially because he's so, what's the word? Divisive, I guess. But wouldn't it have to be from the top, though? If we're making it like a government position, wouldn't it have to be from the president? Like, if it is a position in Washington that's going to be there year after year, I don't even know how that would work.
I guess I don't know. I honestly don't. But it's a problem, and it
seems like it would be something that both aisles could agree on, right?
I heard that Texas is spending $40 million on their football team.
Yeah. And last year it was Ohio State, where you heard that number thrown around, the $20 million or whatever, would be their payroll this year. I don't doubt it. I mean, let's say you pay Arch Manning $6 million. So take a big chunk of that for one player. So, yeah, I don't find it that hard to believe. I think that number is going to probably be around average for most SEC teams in the next couple of years.
Arch Manning's going to have more pressure on him than both quarterbacks in Los Angeles playing at the NFL level. I mean, the guy's got 90 career passes.
Yeah.
He's already considered the
number one pick.
I mean, it's with that name in that family, and again, there's going to be a lot of people right out of the gate. They're going to immediately root for him to fail. And I get it. Boy, some of these Belichick responses that you have sent to me are really intriguing. I'm going on vacation here in 30 minutes, and the last thing I'm going to do is read one of these things. I don't want to get a call. But, you got a phone number here, right? Not a name, not a face. Thankfully, not a job title or any of that stuff, but it's amazing the private comments on Belichick. It's actually, I've been around a little bit. It's not surprising, but the fact that you folks are running with it today is pretty interesting in my opinion. All right, Jaguars schedule leak. Schedule leaks on Twitter says Week 7 it'll be the Jaguars and Rams at Wembley. There's a lot of talk about the schedule that'll be released on Wednesday, and the reason why I'm mentioning it right now is I will be gone. I will be on vacation, but I think the first thing that comes to mind is how many primetime games, how many night games does Jacksonville get? How do you weigh Travis Hunter to a team that was 4-13 and is still small market? All right. I think one, maybe two Thursday night games, maybe one at home, maybe one on the road. I'd be surprised totally if they get a Monday night football game. And even a Sunday night game, I think, is a little bit of a stretch. So I'll go with Thursday. I'll go with two of those there. For what it's worth, strength of schedule, the Jaguars have the 6th easiest schedule this year. During their 9 home games, 4 will be against playoff teams from a year ago. During their 8 road trips, only 2 of their 8 opponents actually did make the playoffs in January of 2025. Compare that to Houston. They have the 3rd hardest schedule based on the way things sit. Everything changes in the NFL, but, this is all we can go off of right now. The next thing I always look at is cold weather games, okay? Jacksonville, they go to Indianapolis. That's not a problem. That's indoors. They go to Houston. That's not a problem. Indoors. You go to Tennessee. I would tell you the 8 years I spent as the Jaguars sideline reporter, it wasn't Green Bay, it wasn't Chicago, it wasn't Foxborough, it wasn't Buffalo. The coldest game I ever went to was in Nashville. And it was in December. It was brutal. So timing there, cold weather game. You would much rather have that be an early season trip to Tennessee in an incredibly winnable game. Then again, I'm sure some of you out there are like, it doesn't matter when they take on Tennessee. That's a bad team. Jacksonville's going to win anyway. Arizona, man, that's a long trip. That is a long one against the Cardinals. Denver, that can be bitterly cold, as we do know. And a team that is, moving forward. Las Vegas, a lot of distractions there. At San Francisco, man, what a brutal trip that is. And then at Cincinnati. So that is, those are pretty tough road games. And this is the way that I've always evaluated cold games. By number one for me is consecutive road games. The last thing the Jaguars want to have is open up, day one away from the bank. Or maybe you get 2 consecutive road games in your first 3 weeks. Even if you're home in week 1 and you're on the road in week 2, week 3. I've always looked at consecutive road games. There have been times where teams get 3 consecutive road games. The second thing I look at, we just went through, is cold weather. You want to get cold weather teams earlier in the season. Third thing I look at, and I think this especially applies to teams that are out of it, or in this case, it could really rear its ugly head if, you're a week-to-week team and you still have an opportunity to get to the playoffs. But that's the holidays. All right? Now, Jacksonville's conveniently avoided Thanksgiving. And that's nice. But Christmas is the one. I think New Year's is fine, even though they're younger and they want to go out, they want to run and rip. I get it. But it's Christmas is the one that can really be a problem. You got a young family at home, and you want to be with your family on Christmas Eve. You want to be with your family on Christmas. That can always be problematic. And I haven't even looked at the schedule this year. I don't even know what day Christmas falls during the, during the 2025. That'll actually be, let's see here, December. I've got it on a Thursday. Yeah. So,
that's nice for a day off.
It is.
We're about to get Thursday and Friday off.
Yeah.
I love that.
Or if it's, for me, my favorite day of the year has always been Christmas Eve. Love
so
Christmas.
Maybe we'll get the Wednesday and Thursday and only have one day to come back and work.
I think we work Christmas Eve and then we get the day after.
Usually.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at them as far as travel, okay? This is actually going to work out conveniently for them if they are on the road this year because, again, Christmas Eve is on a Wednesday and Christmas is on a Thursday. So even if they're going as far away as San Francisco or Las Vegas or Arizona, the earliest they would leave would be a Friday. Most teams leave on Saturday. We don't know what the belief is going to be yet with Liam Cohen. And, everyone does it differently, whether it's 2 days before for a West Coast trip or 1 day before for a West Coast trip. So that's always the way that I've looked at it.
I did see one leak. There's like an NFL schedule leak, Twitter handle, whatever. So who knows how fake this is, but it was Jacksonville versus L.A., the Rams, in London.
Yeah, week 7.
Okay. So is that official?
I don't know if anything's official.
Okay.
Again, you saw it on schedule leaks.
Okay, so we
right?
both saw the same.
Yeah. The NFL. And by the way, I love when the NFL gets mad. They make such a big deal about releasing this schedule. They let everyone know like a month in advance. They let us know during the draft. So, of course, things are going to leak. It's always been
it's crazy how
pretty interesting to me.
Made this into, they're geniuses. The NFL is geniuses
They really
at
are.
making nothing into something.
Right.
Like when I was growing up, there wasn't a schedule release. I don't even think that existed until like a few years ago. Now, every single social media or every single team's social media does their own really, it looks like they all take a really long time and spend a lot of money on their schedule release videos, some more than others.
Yeah.
And then the networks do it. I saw that they're slowly trickling out some of the nationwide games on the Today Show and Good Morning America. And it's wow, man, this is really a thing now, the schedule release. I know at 1010XL it is. We're going to have our own video and we always pick all the winners. It gets a lot of clicks, so people love it.
Yeah, they want me to come back from my vacation to do the schedule release. I'm just kidding. I'll do it the Monday after. But so anyway, you have 8 road games, 3 of which are cold weather games. Okay, only 2 playoff teams from a year ago at Houston and at Denver, but there are quality teams here. I think Arizona is an improving team. I think San Francisco, they dealt with so many injuries and so many problems a year ago. They were 6-11. They're a much better team than that record. And I think Cincinnati at 9-8. I mean, you got to go in there and play, which will be cold. And obviously, they are so explosive offensively. All right, before the break, the other side of this, the 9 home games, one of which has been reported by schedule leaks, will be at Wembley. That is Jacksonville and the Los Angeles Rams. your other home games, 3 divisional opponents, Colts, Texans, and Titans. The Chiefs come here. That's scary. The Chargers come here. They were 11-6 a year ago. Okay. Seattle comes here at 10-7, but they've totally redone that. New coach, new quarterback. And then you get on paper, which look like arguably outside of Tennessee, maybe the 2 easiest games on your schedule. That is the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers coming here to Jacksonville. So that'll be announced on Wednesday. It'll be a big day. I know fans do. I think every host in America, regardless of what city they work in, when they get the schedule, they go through it and they put a W next to it or they put an L next to it. That's just something that happens, and that's why the NFL does it this way. And
if the Jags open at home, who do you think? Who would be their, I don't know. I wouldn't say the Chiefs because you don't want to lose opening day, but what would be the best matchup, non-AFC South wise?
I would love it if it was either the Jets or Panthers.
Yeah, Carolina. That's what I was going to say.
Well, because
thump a team week 1, get everybody hyped, have Trevor go out there and throw for 3 scores.
Well, yeah, just
get some early momentum.
It boils my blood when I think of it. They said to their fan base last year, look at this, 0-4 in September. They crushed their season. They had nothing to get excited about. So, yeah, give Jacksonville the Jets or give them the Panthers and give them an opportunity to win right out of the gate in week 1. And I don't know, maybe score in the first quarter. These fans get up, make some noise. And, it's a long season, 18 weeks, 17 games. But you can just destroy this city when you show up and go 0-4 to begin the year. So, yes, I hope it's not Kansas City. No way. And that's what I would take.
And you know how those
that
fan bases, too.
Yeah.
Like that, you don't want week 1 opening day to have a sea of red in the crowd.
No. That's one that would travel.
Yeah, they always do.
Chargers and Rams aren't going to travel. Seattle a little bit, although that's lengthy. And then, you know what you get at your divisional opponents.
Here, Jets fans that already live here.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jet fans down here, obviously here and, nearby Orlando or whatever. I tend to agree with you. Carolina seems like it would be the best fit here. The 2 expansion teams, 31 years in the making. Why not set that up? Right? Wouldn't every news entity lead with that? Week 1, a rematch from 31 years ago when both Carolina and Jacksonville came into the NFL. There you go. There's your storyline. Open up the season here in Duval with the Jags and Panthers. All right, we'll put our final thoughts on this one on the other side. It's great to have you with us.
On campus.
7 years of college down the drain.
On the inside and on XL Primetime.
What's the deal with the show?
Bleacher Report college football insider Matt Hayes.
How do you like being in a real studio?
2 to 4 weekdays on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and now Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA certified natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase, so get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Remember Mom this Mother's Day with a beautiful floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. Max here with 1010XL, and there's no excuse for a last-minute thing when you can simply call Kuhn Flowers or go online to kuhnflowers.com.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200. ChadAndDSandy.com.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
And it's peaked outside. The rain is hit. Hopefully it'll disappear by tomorrow because it's a huge day at the Miller Electric Center. I have the time on my phone. I believe it starts around 1:15, 1:30 or so. But, fans are allowed to go. Go to Jaguars.com. My understanding is that tickets are sold out, but who knows? Just go and, if you can get tickets, the best to you. It'd be really cool to go out there tomorrow and look at these young rookies. So I will see you folks out there. Hopefully the weather does its part. We have an update from South Florida. The Panthers are on the board. And the Panthers are going on the power play. They're down 0-2. Toronto up 2-1 here in Game 3. If I put $10K on the table, and I know you're getting ready to go to Boston, Panthers down 0-2, Celtics down 0-2. Which team would you pick to turn around and win that series?
I love the I think the Celtics are going to win. I said it yesterday on the Frangie show. Hilariously enough, they are actually still the favorites.
Yeah.
They're like minus 120, and I agree with that. Call me crazy, but I think the Celtics in 7.
Right. I kind of, for the first time ever, want to say both. I still think the Panthers are a better team than the Maple Leafs, but Toronto's playing some really good hockey. So only a couple of minutes left in the first period here. The good news is I'll be able to get home and watch the remainder of this game.
I don't want to see a Canadian team ruin our streak.
I know.
We've been enjoying the non-Canadian Stanley Cup winners for like 30 years at this point.
So I'm going to Tampa to see my dad for the majority of my vacation. You're going to my hometown. What do you got planned?
I am going to Boston Thursday and Friday and Saturday. We got tickets to see the Braves at Fenway. It's my first ever time going to Fenway. I'm super giddy. I'm like a child. My wife has never been to a Major League Baseball game, and the first one will be at Fenway Park. I'm actually pissed off at her for that. How lucky. You have no idea how lucky this is. You just don't get it. But yeah, I'm super excited. Last time I went to Boston, it was in November. It was 15 degrees. Beautiful. I'll say out of all the big cities I've been to, the cleanest and nicest one I've ever been to is Boston.
Yeah, it's a great city.
It is great.
This time of year, there's no doubt. Now, I know you did a bunch of bar hopping. Did you go to the Cask and Flag or any of those bars around Fenway?
Oh, yeah. We did a couple, but unfortunately it was November. They weren't playing. But we'll be back, and our Airbnb is right across the street from Fenway. I'm pumped.
Man, that's cool. And,
yeah.
And maybe the Bell in Hand or all that good stuff.
It's on the list.
North End.
Hey. Ken Brady, when I was leaving the other day, he's like, Union Oyster Bar. Or what is it called? Union Oyster House? Something like that?
Union Oyster House, right near the Bell in Hand.
Yep, so we made a reservation, and we'll be going there, too.
Man, you're going to love
excited.
it. No doubt about it. All right, have a great trip.
Thank you.
I appreciate Dylan's out and JJ, just like old times, coming in here and getting things done over the last couple of hours. So I tell you, I think it's really pretty remarkable the way that this offseason has gone after winning only 4 football games in Jacksonville. Again, it doesn't feel anything like that. It just seems like it's more positive.
Feels
news.
like they're coming off a playoff break.
Right. With this team, it's just I never would have been able to envision this, especially those 16 days that Trent Baalke did stick on. But, tomorrow, getting an opportunity to see them as far as the rookies is really going to be cool. But the best part of my vacation, in my opinion, is going to be when I do return, because that is going to be OTA session number 1, and that is going to be on Monday, May 19th. So what an unbelievable opportunity to come back and watch the entire 90-man roster for my first show. So that's it. I'm gone for a week. I do appreciate it. I don't check the text line or YouTube or any of that while I'm out. But even on vacation, I'm always available. If you want to hit me up on Twitter or X, just go to Ballou, Ballou, 1010XL. That'll do it. Hacker's on vacation. He'll rejoin you coming up on Monday. For JJ LaSelva, I'm Rick Ballou. Have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow over at the Miller Electric Center for the Jaguars.